So I've had a few requests to do a build guide for the Angara Avenger, so here we go. The footage you're watching is from my solo video on Gold Against the Ket. I basically play this character like a silent invisible assassin, either shooting enemies from a safe distance with a sniper rifle, or backstabbing them and finishing them off with a close range pistol shot to the head. This build allows for both playstyles to be used pretty effectively, without any changes needing to be done. I tend to lean towards a close range combat when I'm in a 4-man group, and long range hit and run tactics when in a clutch situation or while soloing. So, let's get into the build. The first skill that the Avenger has is Sticky Grenade. Sticky Grenade is a pretty useful skill to have at your disposal since it won't break your stealth grid, and it usually takes enough health or shields for a follow-up with Avenger Strike to be lethal. The reverse is true too. You can use it to finish off enemies that are too far away to melee but don't have enough health to warrant using Avenger Strike or a sniper shot on. When used in combination with Avenger Strike with the rank 6 evolution I take, the target will be stunned in position, allowing for easy direct impacts. Now, I don't take it further than rank 1 though, not because it's a bad skill to have, but it just isn't as useful to have it maxed out as the other power trees are. The only downside is that you only have one Sticky Grenade at rank 1, but this can be somewhat mitigated by the use of power capacity consumables. Moving on to the Avenger's signature ability, Avenger Strike. This works in pretty much the same way as Shadow Strike did back in Mass Effect 3. It's considered a melee attack and not a combat power, so that's something to consider when choosing consumables and weapon mods. You want to take this one all the way up to rank 6. I choose recharge speed over bleed damage at rank 4, since Avenger Strike isn't likely to outright kill anything except the lowest tier trash mobs, and the bleed damage doesn't really change that fact. So I think it's more beneficial to use your weapon or a grenade to finish off things, rather than wait for the damage over time to not really do a whole lot anyway. For rank 5 I choose Flash Strike over the straight damage increase. While the damage evolution will increase the likelihood that you'll be killing enemies outright, Flash Strike does allow you to use Avenger Strike to hit enemies that are in a group without any risk to yourself. The most useful example of this is when fighting the Ket. You can use this to pinpoint the Destined before he can cloak his allies. You can stab him in the neck, shoot him in the face, and then dash out of there. Without Flash Strike, you'd soon become a fine paste on the floor once the Anointed opens fire on you, but with Flash Strike, their damage being reduced by a massive 85%, they'll barely tickle you while you execute their esteemed colleagues one by one. Lastly, the rank 6 evolution is a total no-brainer. While having an extra stealth grid charge is nice to have after a kill, it's not like they're hard to come by from ammo boxes. I rarely run out of stealth grids as it is, even in solo runs when I'm cloaked for the majority of the time. Disrupting Strike, on the other hand, is incredibly powerful. It will increase your one-hit kill ability against Remnant, it will strip the enormous shields that the Ket possess with ease, and it'll prime enemies for tech combos. Most importantly though, it holds the enemy in place, stunned, and it allows you to line up a Sticky Grenade or an easy headshot for the kill. This is one of my favourite things to do with the Avenger, especially against Anointed and the Ket in general. Using Avenger Strike, cloaking and dashing to a safe distance, and then burying a sniper round into the head of the stunned enemy to finish it off. Not only is this incredibly gratifying, it's also a very effective way of disposing of high threat enemies safely and quickly. Moving on to the next ability the Avenger has, and that is Stealth Grid, also known as Skill Grid, Scrub Candies, Win Packs, you name it. The ability is monstrously powerful, and I would argue it's actually the best skill in the entire game. It allows you to almost completely eliminate aggro at the press of a button, complete objectives or move around the map in total safety, or just for getting out of a difficult situation. You can use it like a budget tactical cloak when it's ranked up as well, so let's break down the ranks. Obviously you're going to want to stuff 6 ranks into this tree, but the very first thing you want to do is take Stealth Grid to rank 3. And the reason being is that you get the first duration upgrade at rank 3, which will allow you to move to the nearest ammo box to resupply with ample time to spare, or allow you to complete devices without revealing yourself. Rank 6 will come later down the line in your build, and I'll explain later when I discuss the build order, but let's talk about the later ranks. Rank 4 is going to be an easy choice as well here. Stealth Grid isn't so much of a team skill, at least outside of objectives, so effective radius isn't something that should overly concern you. The extra charge helps a lot though, so we're going to take that instead. The more of these you have, the more room for error and the less likely you're going to get caught in the open without an escape option. So there's not much else to say here really. Let's move on. Rank 5 is another rank I also consider to be an easy choice to make. You have the choice between shield grid and duration. The duration of evolution at rank 3 does give you enough time to do pretty much everything you could ever need stealth grid for. When hacking or uploading, you'll have to use more charges than you would need otherwise, but that's only the real time you'll actually see any benefit from having another duration evolution. The shield recharge buffs you get with Stealth Grid, though, are really strong, and since the majority of your Stealth Grids will be used to reposition or reduce aggro on you, the recharge delay reduction and recharge speed will allow you to get back into the fight quicker while being at full capacity. Oh, yeah, and I didn't mention that your shields will fully recharge when you're cloaked, did I? Well, they do, and it's more broken than single-player animations. Lastly, rank 6 can go one of two ways. You can either go with Evasive Grid and gain some really good movement speed, which is great in solos for kiting around enemies or repositioning yourself quickly, or you can go with Ambush Grid, which grants comparable damage bonuses when attacking from Cloak to that of Tactical Cloak. Except Stealth Grid has no cooldowns, or any delay between uses, and you can recharge your shields while it's active. Ambush Grid will increase your melee and gun damage by 50% and your power damage by 40%. It increases your overall damage output, increases your chance for one-hit kills, and you can use it freely with little to no drawbacks. So, use Stealth Grid. It's stupidly powerful. On to passives, and you're going to want to put 6 ranks into weapons training if you have a rank 10 character card, going for straight weapon damage all the way. Power damage is not all that necessary, since the only thing that's going to benefit from it is a sticky grenade, and for the most part the bulk of your damage will be coming from your weapon anyway, at least on gold. If you are sat on a level 1 character card like I am though, then you're going to be going to rank 2. It's sufficient because not all the passives are worth speccing into, but because bioelectric defense's passive abilities will yield a lot more benefits to this build. So lastly, the bioelectric field tree. Rank 4 you want regeneration for the same reasons as I chose back in the Stealth Grid section of this guide. Evasion can be useful, but Stealth Grid should remove any need for damage reduction while evading. If you play smart, you will always have one handy when you need it. If you do happen to chug through these like candies though, then you might want to consider evasion instead of regeneration. Rank 5 is a tough one, and I think it really boils down to preference, since there isn't really one that's definitively better than the other. Both have their own respective merits, but I tend to lean towards melee damage, just to boost the damage my Avenger Strike will be dealing. Of course you can go for more stealth grids and sticky grenades, but as I said, it really boils down to preference and how often you actually use these grenade abilities. And lastly, rank 6. You won't be able to get this one unless you've picked up a few character cards for the Angara Avenger, but if you are lucky enough to get some character cards drop, then Bioelectric Ward will be your 6th and final evolution. It's an incredibly handy evolution for both you and your team, and it allows you to have at least a third of your gunfights with 80 damage resistance, since it activates for you and all allies in a 6 meter radius every 15 seconds for 5 seconds on getting hit. And lastly, the build order for all of this. You're going to want to take Stealth Grid to rank 3 first, then go straight to rank 6 Avenger Strike, then either rank 6 Stealth Grid or rank 3 Bioelectric Field. The order of those two really depends on your confidence in your own ability to stay alive. After that, you take rank 6 Bioelectric Field, followed by rank 6 Weapon Training. So that's it really for the Angara Avenger build. I hope this is of some help to those who've been wondering how I spec and play her. It's one of my favourite classes, and hopefully with this build and a little luck, she'll become yours too. Thanks for watching, goodbye.